Hi, I'm here with Elizabeth Krumbach of the Ubuntu Community Council. We're in Brussels, Belgium. We're at the Ubuntu Developer Summit for Maverick Meerkat Ubuntu 10.10. Liz, can you tell me a little bit about what is the Community Council and what do you do on the Community Council?
So the Community Council is sort of a governing community board for the Ubuntu project. There are a bunch of councils below us, the Community Council, the Local Council, regional membership boards, the Forums Council, which are responsible for certain portions of the project, handling disputes in IRC or in the forums, approving members. The Local Council does approval of loco teams. So part of our job is governing those governance boards. And then the rest of it is dealing with conflict within the community that doesn't necessarily fall into any of those categories. Honestly, most of what happens in the community falls under those categories, so we don't end up having to do nearly as much as we used to, because we used to do all the stuff that all the individual councils did, pretty much. So
I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the last council that was added, was that the local council or was it the IRC council? They're all relatively new, aren't they, in comparison to the community council?
Yeah, I believe the local council and the regional membership boards, where we bring members into the project, I think those were done around the same time. I'm not really sure about the IRC council.
I guess the reason I asked the question is to show that it's an ever-evolving governance process, that the way the process was 4 years ago is not necessarily the way the process will be or what the governing bodies are 2 years from now, and that as a community council you're always open to seeing where governance can best be suited and where it fits best or where it doesn't. Is there anything in regards to that process that you'd like to comment on?
So the reason for the Community Council in the beginning, of course, was to do all these things that the membership boards and the local council did. So when it was an evolving process, when we decided that the Community Council meetings were too long because we were trying to approve members all the time, this was before I was on it, when they were trying to approve members at the same meetings when they're trying to talk about community things, they decided, we're gonna offload this to the membership boards. The same thing happened with the local council. It just, as soon as a need comes up and it becomes too much work on the community council and that we could find specialized people within the community to do this work, is when we offload the task and create a council. But honestly, we're hoping not to create too many more, because it's being handled really well. The councils that we've created and the boards are doing an amazing job of all this. So it's always evolving, and we're always open to suggestions and ways we can refine the process. So
it seems to be very much in line with the open source philosophy and the open source way of doing things. What do you find most rewarding about being on the community council?
I'd say it's getting to the end of disputes and making everyone come to a resolution where they're happy with it. You see people within the community, and a lot of it comes down to breakdown communication or just general lack of understanding of processes, but getting people together and talking to them and working through issues like that, and then seeing everyone come out at the end and be like, okay, we can work together, we can get past this. It's really great to finally see that, because people can come to us, and by the time they get to the community council, they are pretty upset. So, taking care of that and bringing them back into a positive contributing member of the project is very rewarding. Also, seeing the councils themselves do such an amazing job at everything they're doing. So
I imagine being part of that dynamic has got to be, especially if, like you said, especially if there's this moment of conflict and then the resolution on the end, seeing it all come back together. So I know that the local council, the community council, excuse me, you guys do a lot of other stuff other than just that in the community. What are some of the things that you do in the community other than the community council?
So right now I'm involved with the Ubuntu Women Project. We're just trying to get more women involved. There are a few other projects out there. The Ubuntu Youth Project, which targets high school kids who are trying to get involved. And there are a couple other projects. There's an accessibility team who are trying to get Ubuntu to become more accessible and getting more of those types of people involved in the project. So women is the one that I'm involved with, and we just do outreach to get more women involved. I'm also part of the Ubuntu Learning Project, where we develop course material to teach people how to use Ubuntu. Usually it's used by loco teams. The Massachusetts team actually has sessions set up to teach systems administration on Ubuntu. So actually we're having a session this afternoon on making that even better. Also work on the classroom project, which is actually IRC-based classes. So Ubuntu Open Week is part of sort of the classroom umbrella and other things like that. So I work on that. Also the Ubuntu California team. So I just moved out of Pennsylvania. I was working on Ubuntu Pennsylvania, so event planning and all that kind of stuff. So now I'm in California doing pretty much the same thing. So
it sounds like you're really busy, and I don't think there's any community member that I've talked to this week here at UDS that isn't involved with at least more projects than you can count on one hand. What do you think is the secret, though, to retaining and keeping and encouraging those members who do all of those things, to keep them from either burning out and getting frustrated, or keep them just actively engaged in a positive way? I mean, you yourself have been there. What do you think is that key to success?
So for me, it's mostly just being involved in a lot of different things, and if I'm starting to feel a bit burnt out on one part of the one project, I'll just switch over to another. Also, during some cycles, I'll switch over to doing more upstream Debian work, because I do some Debian packaging. So I might change my focus. I'm going to be like, this cycle, I'm just going to chill out from the community stuff a little bit, and I'm going to do some packaging and get my head down, because I just need to chill out. And I think that works for a lot of people. I don't know. Most of the people that I work with work in a lot of different areas, and I sort of see that shift during certain cycles where they just want to work on something different, and that helps me tremendously. So
it helps to have those other examples and other role models in the community. I know for me it does. What is it that you're looking forward to in the Maverick cycle?
See, the Ubuntu Women Project is getting new leadership, and of course you are the leader currently, and you've done an amazing job. But we're shifting. That was an appointment. You were appointed the leader by the community council, which is an unusual thing, but it was an unusual circumstance. But now we're moving into where we're having 3 leaders elected by the community, and it's a really exciting time for the project. So I'm looking forward to seeing how that turns out. There's also work being done by the IRC Council. We just had a session this morning. They had an amazing Lucid cycle, and they have really great plans for the next one. So I'm looking forward to seeing a lot of that. So.
Now, how can people get in touch with the community council? Is there an IRC channel, a mailing list, website? What can they go to if they need to get in touch with you?
So we have a mailing list. I don't know the address. I think it's community-council.
Is there a wiki page someone can go to?
Yeah, if you just Google for Ubuntu Community Council, you'll land on probably the Ubuntu.com page. From there, it'll have all the links to everything. But primarily, we're through the mailing list. Also, people are welcome to come to us individually. I'm Pilea to an IRC, and my email address lyc@ubuntu.com. Anyone can come to me at any time. Same goes for most of the community council members. We're pretty open to talking to people, and if you want to get an opinion from several of us, just private message us. Just grab us on IRC or send us an email. We're all pretty open to discussing, and if we want to bring in other members or say I need to go back to the list and talk through some things, we'll just let you know. But we can usually give you some kind of general idea on your issue or whatever.
That's great. It sounds like the community council is doing some great things in the community and working with all the other councils and all your work in the community. It sounds like, especially like with Ubuntu Women and the Learning Project and the class project and all that. It sounds like some really great opportunities coming up in this next cycle. So thank you so much for stopping by and talking to us, and looking forward to seeing what all happens in the Meerkat cycle. So thank you so much.
Me too. Thank you.